Let's hone in on factor investing. The market's wild swings have investors flocking to low volatility funds. One factor that's proven to be a major growth area for BlackRock. Holly Framsted joining us now, head of U.S. factor ETFs at iShares. Holly, it's good to see you. For those of us who may not know, can you briefly explain what exactly factor investing is and why it should be attractive to investors?
Yeah, so factor investing is not new. They're broad and persistent drivers of return and very simple, intuitive investment concepts that virtually all of us are investing in today. Think about buying companies that are underpriced relative to their fundamental value. That's value investing. Buying companies with strong balance sheets and stable earnings is quality investing. These investment characteristics are embedded in things that we already own. So all that has really changed is that the ETF structure has democratized access to these drivers of return, and improvements in technology and measurement have allowed investors to now see what they own and understand what's driving their portfolio over time, which has really helped, as you talked about, with defensive positioning. It's helped investors understand how to shift allocations in their portfolio in an environment that has been quite uncertain.
So what are some of the top picks or areas you see opportunity?
Well, we've been talking with investors really all year about building resilience into their portfolio, and so quality and minimum volatility investments have been particularly popular. As you mentioned, minimum volatility USMV as a standout iShares ticker there. It's actually the fastest growing ETF globally this year, which is remarkable given that it's not market cap weighted. And so for me, that really indicates to us that factors have become mainstream.
Is there a risk here that this is a little bit trendy? I mean, USMV and its competitors, that whole low vol space, it's pulled in something like $25 billion in flows this year. It's one of the big growth stories, really the only big growth story in the quote unquote smart beta space. What happens when all that money comes out? Is the performance of these types of products really dependent on those flows?
Well, I think there's a difference between talking about upside performance expectation and protection built into a portfolio. Most people are buying minimum volatility strategies or quality strategies because they're concerned about where the market is going to go, and they're really worried about downside protection. So clearly, the biggest risk to investing defensively within equities is that you miss out on some of a potential bull market run. But as you were talking about interest rates earlier, I'm not sure that we're in that environment today, and so what's the risk to missing out a little bit on the upside? I think it's probably far lower than the risk of participating fully on the downside if you're not positioned defensively.
And how do you assess whether a company is low volatility?
Well, so you can look at traditional volatility metrics of individual stocks. Our portfolio in particular aims to balance exposure across sectors and industries. And so as a result, we're investing in some high volatility stocks and some low volatility stocks to the extent that they diversify one another. So really we're delivering in USMV a portfolio that is designed to drive market-like returns over time, but with substantially less risk, taking advantage of correlations.
In terms of sectors, is it mostly consumer staples? I would imagine less tech, which tends to be a bit more volatile.
Yeah, the beauty of USMV and why I think it has been such a popular asset gatherer is that the sectors are actually constrained to be in line with the market plus or minus a couple percentage points.
Right,
so,
and we were just talking about the problem in dividends,
yep.
Right? You can end up wicked overloaded on financials or anything else if you don't have some sort of guardrails there. So I think that's been a key to the success for sure.
Exactly.